Hey guys, I'm just Joshin, and welcome back to Pokemon March Madness, aka Parchmoki Madness. Nope, something was wrong there. AKA Poke March Madness, aka March Poke Madness. That sounds better. AKA we finally did one of these videos in sub hour. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last one. Maybe you haven't watched the entire series up to this point. I highly recommend it. Hold on, as is tradition, gotta fix the chair at the start of the video. If you guys do not know what March Poke Madness is, aka Pokemon March Madness, aka Poke March Madness, aka what did I say at the beginning? Moki Parch Madness? Whatever, I messed up. If you don't know what this is, there's a playlist now. I finally stopped being lazy. I made a playlist of all these videos. You can go back and watch them. It's very simple. First of all, I hope you guys, I've said first of all 97 times. I hope you guys are being safe. Hope you're being smart, staying inside, not going too crazy like your boy is right here in front of you. What is Pokemon March Madness? Well, of course, as you guys know, as I said, hope you're being safe. Coronavirus 2020, extremely scary, has canceled all sports. What am I doing? Instead of doing normal March Madness where you would create brackets of college basketball teams to determine which college basketball team is the best of the college basketball teams, well, since I know nothing about basketball, I'm attempting to fill that void with something I know a little bit better, which is Pokemon. And I've been going through every generation of Pokemon, one at a time. Gen 1, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, sorry, Gen 5, Kalos, and today Alola. We're going through each of the regions one at a time, starting on the left side of the bracket, then going down the right side of the bracket, slowly moving in closer and closer one at a time. Yo, they have Alolan forms. Slowly moving in together, closer and closer, until we get to the very most quintessential question of all, which is what is the best Pokemon of each generation? And as I previously said, which I wasn't supposed to yet, sorry! As I previously said, today we are doing the Alola region, Gen 7, the video games, Pokemon Sun and Moon, the games that got me back into Pokemon. Kind of, sort of. It's the first games I came back to. Again, last week, on Friday, we did the Kalos region. Go back and watch that one if you haven't already. It's the first one we've done that's sub-hour. I'm pretty happy about that. I have a decent feeling today may also be sub-hour, because even though the Alola region, Pokemon Sun and Moon, is the region that brought me back into Pokemon, if I have to be 100% honest, it is not my favorite Pokemon generation. Now, the region itself, look, generation does not equal region. Generation includes everything, the characters, the storyline, the villain, the Pokemon. Generation includes everything. If we were talking about just the Alola region in general, it's near the top. It's maybe number 2, maybe number 3. Johto will always be the top. But the Alola region, the culture, the customs, the islands, I love everything about it. However, there's a lot I didn't like about Gen 7. Not all of it being the Pokemon. A lot of the hand-holdiness in the story, some of the characters talk a little bit too much. There's a couple things. The Ultra Beasts, not a huge fan of. We'll get into that today. But none of that really matters. I'm just giving you a little preface. I like to provide a little bit of background details when going into one of these videos, so you know where my mental headspace is. Obviously, I've played every Pokemon generation, or I wouldn't be doing this. Obviously, I've enjoyed every Pokemon generation. Even if this is one of my lesser favorite Pokemon generations, it still has a special place in my heart. Like I said, I originally skipped over X and Y and ORAS, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Skipped over them. Was not going to buy a 3DS at all until I saw these games, got pretty hyped for them, and eventually decided to buy a 3DS and a copy of Pokemon Sun for the YouTube channel, formerly known as Playcrastination. And, we recorded some videos back in my bedroom in my parents' house. I shaved off my beard in episode number 1, and it's been going ever since then. By the way, quarantine beard coming in, extremely disgusting, way too long. Really want to cut it, but I'm not cutting it until quarantine is over. Anyway, I should stop yapping at the beginning of this one, because otherwise it's going to be over an hour. You guys know the rules. I told you. Start on the left side. Go all the way down. 1v1 Pokemon matchups. All I'm doing is telling you which of the 2 Pokemon I prefer. And by the time we get to the very end, I'm going to be able to tell you definitively, without a doubt, who the best Gen 7 Pokemon, the best Alola region Pokemon is. With that, was that all in? Did I do that whole 5-minute intro in a single breath? It's possible. Let's start on the left, ladies and gentlemen. And you're starting me off. I kind of wish they would not have started me off with Poipole and Naganadel. And here's why. I mentioned this ever so briefly earlier, perhaps you heard it. And I said I do not really respect or enjoy the Ultra Beasts. And it's true. I get what they're supposed to be. They're Pokemon from other dimensions. They're a weird alien species of Pokemon creatures that aren't supposed to look like normal Pokemon. And it's true. They do not look like normal Pokemon. And I hate to say it, I get what they were going for. The weird interdimensional stuff. Gen 7 was a little strange with that. I get what they were going for, but in general, I don't like those Pokemon. I literally almost don't even consider them Pokemon. They look so strange. Now, however, Poipole and Naganadel is a smart choice. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, of course, came out, and they said, hey, we made 2 more Ultra Beasts. And I said, please, we do not need more Ultra Beasts. And then I saw these boys right here. Maybe it's just because they're purple. I'm a little biased. I enjoy the color purple an extreme amount. Maybe it's just that, but I do think they got back on the right track. These look like Pokemon, but they also look like aliens. And I like that quite a bit. We'll get into the other Ultra Beasts later, but for now, let's deal with Poipole and Naganadel. It's weird to put a Pokemon up against its evolution. 99% of the time, I will go ahead and just defer to the evolution. And as cute as Poipole is, I'm going to do the exact same thing here, which is just defer to the evolution. It's just a beefier, more BA version of Poipole in my personal opinion, and I like Naganadel a little bit more because of it. Skip past all these boys down to the left. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be in and out of here in 5 minutes. We have Shiinotic versus Takataka. I don't know. We had this issue in Gen 6. We're going to continue having the issue in Gen 7, even though I know Gen 7 a little better. There's going to be some Pokemon I don't know the names of super well, purely because I've never used them. And this is 2 of them right here, matched up against each other. Never used the Morlul, which evolves into this Pokemon, which I believe is called Shiinotic. And I never used this Ultra Beast, which was introduced in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which were not good games, I hate to say it. I was hoping for a black... I could rant about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for the longest time, and how I thought they were going to be a Black 2, White 2 sequel situation, and how they were actually the exact same game, just reskinned. I could go on about that for 20 years. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Who sings that song? Anyway, this is how we're here for an hour, by the way. I'll be honest, I don't like either of these 2 Pokemon. I don't like them like even a little bit, even sort of. So who cares? Pick Shiinotic and move on, because they're honestly just not worth my breath. They're not gonna make it. Hate to say it. Going down the right side, is there nothing on the right side? Well, there's a single matchup on the right side, saving us all of that scroll time, my poor finger getting arthritis. We have Ribombee and Crabominable. Ribombee is a cute Pokemon. Reminds me a little bit, been playing just an absurd amount of Animal Crossing on the old Nintendo Switch. Been playing an absurd amount. Now every time I see a Ribombee, I'm going... trying to catch it in my net. It's adorable. It's a good looking Pokemon. I don't even like the fairy type that much. Ribombee's a good looking Pokemon. Crabominable makes me so sad. Crabominable makes me so sad. When I first found... I can't even think of the real Crabrawler. When I first found Crabrawler, I fell in love. Fighting type, crab Pokemon, put up your dukes, buddy. I fell in love with that Pokemon. I called him Little Mac Crab because I loved the game Punch-Out growing up, and he's holding up his fist like boxing gloves, and he's a crab. I call him Little Mac Crab. Greatest nickname of all time. And you really, really think they would continue on that theme of a crab that does boxing. I thought they were going to advance on that a little bit more. And I kept Little Macrab in my party for like the entirety of my Gen 7 playthrough. The entirety of Sun and Moon. Oh, Sun I used him in. Entirety of Pokemon Sun. When's he gonna evolve? When's he gonna evolve? When's he gonna evolve? Finally, when standing outside of Mount Hokulani or whatever the mount, I'm horrible with the names of the towns in Gen 7. I cannot do the Hawaiian pronunciations. Apologies. Standing outside the Elite Four or Victory Road, it's snowing, my boy finally evolved. I got so excited until I saw the monstrosity that he turned into. I don't know if it's because I held on to Crabominable for such a long time, or to Crabrawler for such a long time, that made, I got my expectations a little bit too high, but I really do not like Crabominable. I think the design's really bad. The ice fighting type is a cool combination, do not get me wrong, but I think the design is really bad, especially with how much potential they could have gotten with Crabrawler, with a little punching, little boxing crab. He completely loses the boxing gloves and instead he gets these Barney footprints on his feet. I don't really get it. So I'm sorry, as much as I love Crabrawler, and Crabrawler by itself is almost enough to beat Ribombee, I don't think it's going to be quite enough. So I'm going to actually give that to Ribombee. That's a shocker for me, to be honest. All right, let's move down to the left side. Okay, look, hold on. I need to check something first. Are you just this form of Oricorio? Are the other forms of Oricorio on this list? It certainly doesn't look like it. All right, so what we'll be doing here is factoring in all of the different forms of Oricorio. Oh, by the way, Pokemon Gen 7 Bragging Fight, link of course will be in the description below. If you disagree with anything you've seen thus far, you will disagree at some point. You can fill out your own of these and send it to me. Discord, Twitter, however you want to get in contact with me, Pony Express. You can let me know and I'll take a look at yours and tell you either why I agree or disagree with you. That's the beauty of the internet. You can let me know in the comments down below as well. Okay, so we will factor in all 4 forms of Oricorio. Spoiler alert, it doesn't matter. Decidueye is the better bird of these two, hate to say it. Ghost grass type, fantastic combination. Didn't see it coming. When Rowlet gains the flying type, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna be grass flying, which is a cool type combination. Shout out to my boy Tropius. I thought that was gonna be it. Then all of a sudden, he gets hoodie strings, little bit angst, little bit of ghost typing added. One of my favorite starters of all type, no, bar none. Rowlet's fantastic. Made me love the grass type. And you guys know I'm not a grassy boy. Made me love the grass type. The concept of Oricorio is cool. Do not get me wrong. Different dancing forms for different islands. Same Pokemon, different forms. That's like if you could describe Gen 7 in one way, it would be forms. They freaking love forms. Forms of all shapes and sizes. Gas, aqueous, liquid, solid, plasma. They love their forms, their states of matter. Oricorio's cool. I like that it's got different forms. That's about all it brings to the table, hate to say it. Which one of them is my favorite? Probably this red one. Probably the red Oricorio. It changes type too, which is cool. But not quite enough to take on Decidueye. We got Minior and we got Drampa. I'm gonna tell you the exact same thing I just told you here. It's Drampa. As cool as Minior is, it's almost like, you guys ever do those machines when you were a kid? It's a machine with the little capsules. You didn't know what you were gonna get. You put in a quarter, turn the quarter, it drops a single capsule, you get some sort of toy inside. Minior is almost like that. Every time its shell cracks, breaks open, you don't know what color you're gonna get. I appreciate that about this Pokemon. Rock flying type, very cool, my boy Aerodactyl. But that's where the coolness ends. It's the same problem with Oricorio. You took a cool concept and you got it. Here's the scale of cool. You took a cool concept and you put him here. But you didn't quite do anything to really set him to the next level, to the top echelon. Now, to be honest, they didn't really do anything to set Drampa to the next level as well. He's the first Dragon Normal type. That's pretty cool. He looks interesting. We'll go ahead and give you that. And even though I was a Pokemon Sun boy mostly, and this is a Pokemon Moon exclusive, I still have a little bit of affinity for this strange looking dragon. All right, Naganadel, Pyukumuku. I don't like the Ultra Beasts. This man has a hand inside of his mouth. Can we talk about how cool it is to have a hand inside of your mouth? I'm just kidding. It's really not that cool, and I'm sorry, Pukumuku. You're kind of just like worse Wobbuffet? I hate to say it. I didn't think you could go any lower than Wobbuffet. You're cuter than Wobbuffet, I'll give you that. But in terms of he's just a boy, he uses counter, he's got a hand in his mouth. That's about where the interesting portions end for me. This is just a large poison dragon beast who looks like his tail is like he's ready to take your blood sample at any given moment. And I kind of respect him for that. All right, our first real Ultra Beast, which is Kartana, I believe your name is UBO. Look, there's where my knowledge is gonna end, I'm sorry. Your name's Kartana, you're grass steel. You're like a little origami creature of sort. And you're going up against Turtonator, who is a fire dragon type, very cool combination. And I like Toidles. We've went over that a million times, like the young boy on the news. I like Toidles. I'm gonna look like a real big hypocrite, but I'm going with Kartana. I told you I don't like Ultra Beasts, and don't worry, they're gonna get yeeted. I promise you the Ultra Beasts will not be making it super duper far today, most of them. However, Kartana's got a very cool, sleek design. As far as the Ultra Beasts go, it doesn't really look like a Pokemon. It looks like an origami man. It looks like an origami samurai, which is apparently what it's supposed to. Turtonator looks like a big turtle. He looks like, there's a specific type of turtle that he looks like, and I can't remember the exact, I almost said brand of turtle. I can't remember the exact species of turtle that he looks like, and I respect him for that. Just not one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I think Kartana's design's a little cleaner. All right. Here we have both an Ultra Beast and the Tapus. I do not like the Ultra Beasts, and I certainly do not like Celesteela. Not only from getting bopped in way too many of them in Gen 7 competitive, it's the reason I'm scared to get back into Gen 8 competitive. Celesteela single-handedly broke my spirit. I don't like this Ultra Beast. I'm gonna be honest with you. I also don't love the Tapus. Again, it's cool. The Gen 7 is full of like cool ideas that I don't love the execution of. I love that there are 4 different islands. The idea of 4 different guardians on each island is really cool. They end up looking a little samey to me personally. I know they try, you have to do something to keep them together because they're themed around, they're the guardians of the island, so you want to keep them semi-themed together. It just doesn't work for me. However, I actually do like Tapu Fini quite a bit. Of all of them, might be my favorite. I do like Tapu Fini. And I hate Celesteela, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you over this weird candlestick looking demon. Oh no, okay. This is a tough one. This one's tough. You got Araquanid versus Mimikyu. Everybody loves Mimikyu, I'll tell you what. Mimikyu ended up getting... Didn't Mimikyu get like... It got like 5th or 6th in the 2020 Pokemon of the Year contest, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I like Mimikyu quite a bit. Sad little child. Just wants to be loved, so he dresses up like Pikachu, fan favorite Pokemon, in order to try to get more attention. Little demon hiding underneath. You lift up the Mimikyu cloth, you get cursed and die instantly. I can't remember what its Pokedex says, something like that. And this is just a bug. This is just a bug. What's so special about a bug? He reminds me a little bit about the water spiders in Super Mario 64 that skirt along the surface. If I'm gonna be honest with you here, it's a tough one. These are 2 great Gen 7 Pokemon. I like Araquanid more. Do I have any particular reason I can tell you why? Not really. I don't even like the bug type that much. I like water types okay. I really like Dewpider, and I really like Araquanid. Got one of the cleanest shinies in the game, an extremely solid shiny. I do have a shiny Dewpider and Araquanid. Well, it's the same Pokemon, I evolved it. but I do have one. It was one of the first Pokemon I tried to shiny hunt in the game because I thought it was so clean. This one's more of a gut reaction than anything. I think I like Araquanid better. We have Tapu Koko, Hot Cocoa in the winter, versus Wishy-Washy. Another Pokemon that really emphasizes that form. It's a tiny little fish, but when you scare him, he becomes a big old fish that scares you. I'm gonna give you the same treatment I gave Oricorio and then I gave Minior. You started with a really cool concept and then you just stopped. You didn't really do anything with it beyond that. I'll give it to Tapu Koko in this particular case. Tapu Bulu, Grass Fairy type, versus the Water Poison type Toxapex. Evolved from Mareanie, this thing absolutely destroys Corsola. It's extremely rude. You read that Pokedex entry, it says something like, it eats Corsola, leaving only their bits behind. It's pretty brutal when you think about it. Now, I personally don't like Corsola, so you think I'd be all for the destruction of the Corsola? No, it's kind of rude. Tapu Bulu looks pretty cool. Tapu Bulu, it looks pretty cool. Of the Tapus, I like it quite a bit. I'm still gonna give it to Toxapex though. Like I said, I do not like the Ultra Beast. I do not love the Tapus. Tapu Bulu's okay, but maybe he's probably third in my rankings of the Tapus. I think Tapu Bulu's probably third. I appreciate that you're an actual Pokemon, Toxapex, so I'm gonna give it to you. Komala and Lunala. Got a little Dr. Seuss going on right here, a little bit of rhyme scheme. Komala and Lunala. Komala makes me upset because he's so cute in and of himself. He's always sleeping, gotta relate to it. Gotta relate to it to some degree. Comatose ability, cute koala bear, always clinging on to something. I told you I was a Pokemon Sun boy, so I didn't interact with Lunala all that much. And I do think Solgaleo is the cooler of the two starters versus Solgaleo of the legendaries. Solgaleo versus Lunala. It's such a shame because I feel like you almost have like a Pancham situation here. You could have taken Komala, if Komala was Pancham, and turned it into a large, beefy koala bear that's ready to also sleep but also punch something in the face, and they didn't do it. I feel like there's some extreme wasted potential with Komala, so I'm gonna give it to Lunala, mostly because I'm upset about this. Oh goodness, we've got Serena, literally just took a female's name, gave it to a Pokemon, and we've got Lurantis, the totem Pokemon of Lush Jungle. Two grass types, pretty tough. Pretty tough. I'm gonna include Fomantis in this as well, and of course I've got to include Bounsweet and Steenie. You guys know I'm not much of a grass boy, so I would not exactly gravitate towards either of these two Pokemon. This one's a little too human-like for my personally when I'm looking for a Pokemon that I'm gonna like. This one's a little too humanoid for me. It even has a human name, Hello Serena. So I'm actually gonna give this one to Lurantis, who absolutely bopped me in my first playthrough of the game when I was going through Lush Jungle. I have some respect for you. Even if I don't like the pinstripe design you have, I'm gonna give it to you nonetheless. We made a rule in previous ones, if it's an easy decision, move on. If it's an easy decision, make it and move on. This is an easy decision. We've got Lycanroc Dusk form. I don't know if we're gonna have the other forms of Lycanroc. I don't see them on here. Honestly, if it was just Lycanroc Dusk form, I'm probably still picking Lycanroc. But considering this includes all Dawn form, Dusk form, and nighttime form, whatever that's called, evening, I have no idea. Considering it's all three forms of Lycanroc, you gotta give it to it. Xurkitree is a Christmas tree nightmare. It's all of your Christmas ornaments tangled together. You know the scene from Christmas Vacation where Chevy Chase pulls out the Christmas light, says "Little knot here." Go watch it if you haven't already. That's Xurkitree, Little knot here. It's an Ultra Beast I don't care about and I don't respect. You want to talk about another Ultra Beast I don't care about and don't respect? It's Buzzwole. It's just a jacked bug. I almost called him a butterfly. It's just a jacked fly. What the heck is even this? Is my question to you who are out there watching this right now. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. When this jumps on my screen, I'm absolutely horrified by it. Whereas where Rabombi jumps on the screen, I want to catch it with my Animal Crossing butterfly net. I have no desire in my heart to do that with Buzzwole. Palisand is a little gimmicky. Hate to say it. Very nice shiny. Little gimmicky. It's a ghost Pokemon, inhabited some sand, decided to stay a sandcastle forever. It's a little gimmicky. You guys know where I stand on inanimate object Pokemon. I'm typically fine with them as long as they're ghost types, because then you can kind of theme it around the poltergeist haunting whatever the object is. I gotta say though, Sandygast and Palisand, you're on the edge. You're very close to being a little too unbelievable. You want to talk about Ultra Beasts I don't respect? I told you we're going to have many get yeeted. We're going Silvally. It's not particularly close. It's a Pokemon artificially created to try to rival the power of Arceus. That's really cool. I don't know what this circus clown nightmare is. Looks like it came straight out of Bubsy. And I'd rather never play that game again if I'm being 100% honest. So I'd like to leave you in the dust as well. We've got Comfey and Zeraora. I once received a shiny Comfey in a Wonder Trade. Fun fact, I'm not going to tell you what its nickname was, but its nickname was horrible. I don't know who the original trainer was. I could probably pull it up, I still have it. But somebody sent me a shiny Comfey, which I was excited about when I saw it, and then I read its nickname, and its nickname was like atrocious. I mean like horrible. Like wishing death upon another human being in the form of a nickname. It was really bad. I'm not gonna say it because it's extremely Monka-esque. I've lost all respect. I hate to say it, it's the trainer's fault. Comfey, you didn't do anything. It's the trainer's fault. I'm gonna go with Zeraora, who I can't even pronounce. Look, I don't really love mythical Pokemon because I'll never get to use this thing, but it's a well-designed mythical Pokemon. I'm sad I'll never get to use this thing because it's so well-designed. You guys want to talk about an Ultra Beast I don't respect? Here's the thing about Gen 7. It looks like they added a lot of Pokemon in Gen 7, but when you remove legendaries, Ultra Beasts, Tapus, etc., they added like 6 Pokemon. And that makes me a little bit upset about Gen 7. It's one of the reasons it's a little bit lower on my generation's ranking list. You guys know how I feel about legendaries. You know how I feel about mythicals. Gen 7 is just packed with them. I consider the Ultra Beasts to be legendary Pokemon basically, and I just don't care about them. I don't want to use them on the team. And except for Poipole, maybe. Poipole gets the pass, but most of them I have no desire to. And that's why I don't love the Gen 7 decks a ton. Now Alolan forms, which we're about to get to, that's a different story. I do not like, I don't even remember your name. I'm sorry, it starts with an N, I think. I don't even remember your name, and that's about how much I care about you. It's weird, they had these Ultra Beasts that look like they were gonna be connected with people. Like this looked so much like Lily with her hat, and then you had, I almost called you Necrozma. You have Xurkitree up here whose hair looks like Guzma's, and they never made a connection with that. I was really confused about it. And then you got Buzzwole that looks like me, and I really thought they were gonna make some sort of connection with this, and they never did. Okay, I mean, this was a coin flip earlier based on who I hated. Now we're getting into Alola forms. If I can give Gen 7 some credit, Alola forms, the introduction of Alola forms, one of the coolest things of all time. I remember watching that trailer for the first time ever. I think my live reactions on my YouTube channel. Watching that was, I mean, it pogged me out of my mind. I was extremely hyped to see all of these Pokemon. Look, I'm not a Gen 1er, but it was really cool to see all these Pokemon that I grew up with get these new forms, a new iteration on a Pokemon I love that made them even cooler. Made some of them even cooler. In this case, it absolutely made this Pokemon cooler, which is hard to do. Marowak is already like peak coolness, but then we're gonna set his club on fire with some fancy green fire. Oh, by the way, he's Ghost Fire now. Yeah, that's a win. That's a win in my book. That's a fantastic Alolan form, and I'm happy that it exists. We got Yungoos. We got, I don't know your name. I knew your name at one point. You're an Ultra Beast, Pheromosa. Your name is Pheromosa. And look, if I can't even remember your name, I certainly can't warrant sending you to the next. Again, I don't understand. Pheromosa really looked like it was going to be connected with Lucamine. It was not in any way, shape, and or form. So why does it exist? I have no idea. At least we got some memes out of Yungoos, but I don't really like Yungoos either. Magearna versus Vikavolt. It's Vikavolt. Grubbin is one of my favorite bug types of all time. I call him Candy Corn. He's got the little horns coming out of the front of his mouth. Unfortunately, the name Candy Corn doesn't make much sense after he evolves, but a bug electric type is a very cool combination. My boy Galvantula has entered the chat. It's a very cool combination. I love the whole line. Grubbin, Chargerbug, Vikavolt, fantastic line of Pokemon. Magearna, it's a mythical. I'm never going to use this Pokemon. I'm sorry. I'm never going to use this Pokemon. And so I don't have much respect for it, to be 100% honest. This is extremely tough. There's been some very, very, very easy ones up to this point. This is very, very tough. Yo, I'm going to feel bad if an Alolan form becomes my favorite Gen 7 Pokemon. Doesn't that make me the ultimate Gen 1er? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We will see. Every generation has to have a pseudo. Every generation has to have a pseudo. I think, have they all been dragon types? They're almost all dragon types. And then in this generation we get Komodo, first ever dragon fighting type. Clanging Scale's really cool. Jangmo-o, cute as heck. Komo-o, or Hakamo'o, cute as heck. Komo-o, even though you're difficult to pronounce, you are cool. I'm not gonna deny that you're cool. However, I gotta give this one to my boy Alolan Sandslash. This is gonna upset a lot of people, and I'm sorry, but I gotta give this one to my boy Alolan Sandslash. Sandshrew and Sandslash are two of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, but I never use them. They're two of my favorite Pokemon that I never use because they're very unviable. There are just so many other Pokemon in that game, ground types, rock types, whatever you need, that can do the exact same thing as a Sandshrew or Sandslash, but better. You got Golem, you got Rhydon, you got Nidoking, you got Nidoqueen. Take your choosing, essentially. There's Dugtrio. There's many Pokemon that can do what a Sandslash can do, but better. But their designs are so clean. So when I saw they got Ice Steel forms combination, literally don't get me wrong, I love Alolan Vulpix and Alolan Ninetales, but the very first thing I said was, I want this on my team. Where most people were freaking out about Alolan Ninetales and Vulpix, I said, finally, my boy gets a little bit of time in the sun. Give it to me. And I used it, and I love it. Unless you get hit with a fighting type move or a fire type move. Watch out for that. But which is like a third of all fire type starters. But other than that, you're fine. Salazzle versus Alolan Executor. I gotta give this one to my girl Salazzle. I say girl because you can only have a female Salazzle. I told you I really like Alolan forms, and again, I like the memes. Donald Trump looking Pokemon, that's totally fine. Long, skinny, tall boy Executor, it's fine for the memes. Why is he dragon type? I think I just hold a lot of vengeance against this Pokemon because I don't understand why it's the dragon type. And there's so many other Pokemon that could or should be the dragon type in my opinion, and they give it to this thing. For that and that alone, Poison Fire is a cool type combination. I gotta give it to Salazzle. Togedemaru versus Incineroar. Look, we already went over the best Gen 7 starter, but we do have the second best Gen 7 starter here, so I'll give it some credit. And I'll give it enough credit to actually move it on past Togedemaru. It's a Pikachu clone, at least they added a secondary typing in Steel. It's still not enough for me. It's still not enough for me. The Battle of the Alolan forms, two of the ones I mentioned earlier. We have Alolan Golem, and Alolan Dugtrio. This one's pretty easy for me. It's Golem. Alolan Dugtrio is an Alolan form I do not respect. I like... The idea is funny. You can get this like volcanic ash that ends up looking like fiber wire, aka hair. They put it on my man, they slapped on the steel type. I get what you were trying to do here. The theming was totally there. I hate to say it, but Diglett and Dugtrio did not need Fabio hair. They just, if I've learned anything in my many years in Pokemon and Mega Evolution, adding hair to a Pokemon does not necessarily make it better. And this is a case right here. Whereas Alolan Golem, electric rock type is a really cool combination, and I just like how it looks. Maybe it's it's a little hypocritical. I just said I don't like that they added hair to you, but they added hair to my man's face, but it's like those magnetic shavings, and I like that a little bit better. Oh! They keep putting the Gen 7 Pokemon that I really like up against each other. We got my Superman. We got my sumo wrestling man, Golisopod versus Alolan Muck, who I really like. I liked regular Muck decently. Alolan Muck, Poison Dark type, actually broken. But we're not going purely based off competitive here, we're going based off what I like more. And to be honest, even though it's kind of weird to add 2 bug water types, looking at you, Arachnoid, in the same generation, I like Golisopod more. Sorry. I'm gonna go with Alolan Raichu here. Alolan Raichu versus Melmetal. I was really confused when they introduced Meltan into Pokemon Go. I am an active Pokemon Go player. Well, not so much anymore because I can't leave my house. But a semi-active Meltan, or Pokemon Go player, I was confused when they added Meltan. I was even more confused when they added Melmetal. I thought you were a Gen 8 Pokemon, so it's kind of weird to see you show up here. I like Raichu a lot. You slap on the Psychic type, you got an absolute winner. He's surfing on his tail at all times. That's a big win for me. Bruh, I don't know if I could dislike 2 Pokemon more. No offense. The worst Gen 7 starter, bar none, hate to say it. And a Pokemon I already didn't like very much, Persian, gets in Alolan form. And not only does it get in Alolan form, it looks like it swallowed a watermelon. And the watermelon is resting in its head to this day. I don't like either of these Pokemon. I'll give it to the starter. We'll give it to Primarina, but I don't like either of those 2 Pokemon. I don't love either of these 2 Pokemon either. Oranguru versus Passimian. I'm gonna give it to Passimian purely because I miss sports. Bruh, one of these... The seeding in this is strange. There's some Pokemon that have been yeeted that should still be in it, especially when you consider that some of these Pokemon are going to be in it. Mudsdale versus Guzzlord. It's Mudsdale. Bro, I'm going through this and I'm realizing how few Gen 7 Pokemon I enjoy. And I hate to say it. It's sad. Guzzlord's bad. No. I mean, Guzzlord's just a weird... It's just... I don't like the Ultra Beast, I'm sorry. I'll give it to my horsey boy. My boy, Mr. Ginger Ninja, found a shiny Mudsdale. Mudbray, sorry. In his first ever playthrough. Luckiest man alive. So I'll give it to him. Alolan Ninetales versus Beware. I told you earlier, everyone else was freaking out about Alolan Ninetales. Meanwhile, me, Alolan Sandslash, give it to me. Now, that's not to say that Alolan Ninetales is not a fantastic Pokemon that I would add to my team like 9 out of 10 days a week, which there aren't that, but you know what I'm saying. It's a great Pokemon. Beware's cool too. It hugs you so hard it snaps your back. You know, I get what you're trying to do there. I've just never used one and I don't have much of an emotional connection with it. Necrozma, Dhelmise... I mean, all I can say is You're trying to get me with the ghost grass type. There's other ghost grass types that do it better. I guess I'll give it to Necrozma in this particular situation, but this one's a coin flip. There's not much swaying me one way or the other. My chubby cheeks boy here, I'm sorry, you're not gonna make it. Toucannon, however, at the risk of sounding ridiculous, a toucan is one of my favorite birds in real life, IRL, as the gamers say. And Toucannon, Pikipek, Trumbeak, and Toucannon might be one of the cleanest early bird Pokemon in any generation. It's a really, really, really good good Pokemon. I mean, I don't know how viable it is, but I like using this Pokemon purely based on aesthetics. And it might be, it's crazy to say, but it might be my favorite early bird Pokemon of all 8 generations. I gotta give you some serious credit. These Pokemon are just bad. Both of these Pokemon, Tapu Lele versus Bruxish. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. I don't really respect either of them. We'll give it to Tapu Lele because Bruxish is actually just the ugliest amalgamation of colors I've ever seen. Marshadow Ribombee. I'm actually gonna give it to Marshadow here, which is crazy because I've never used one. I probably will never use one because it's a mythical, so I'll never have access to it. It's an extremely cool looking Pokemon. Now, why you're not Ghost Fire, I'll never understand. You look like a toasted marshmallow. You literally look like a melting candle. I have no idea why you're not Litwick's older brother, Ghost Fire type. I'm gonna take that away though. Accept you as the fighting dark type that you are, fighting ghost type, whatever combination you are. I'll accept you as that if I must. But beyond that, your design's really cool. Your design's really clean. It's a very good looking Pokemon. All right, Drampa, you barely made it through the first round. We're gonna give this one to Decidueye. You guys have seen, maybe you haven't. You can go and watch my tier list, S through F tier of all starter Pokemon. You know that Rowlet's in the S tier. There's only 4 Pokemon in the S tier. It's Charmander, it's it's Totodile, it's Piplup, it's Rowlet. Those are the 4 Pokemon in S tier if I remember correctly. Squirtle might be there. I think he's in A tier though. Those are my 4 S tier starters. It's probably Decidueye, Rowlet, probably in my Dartrix, probably my top 3 starters of all generations. So I gotta give you a lot of credit there. I don't like Ultra Beasts, and the only one I do is Naganadel. So, unfortunately, Kartana, you're about to get yeeted. I feel like we're going to thin the herd pretty quickly here because there's a lot that got through the first time that, in my opinion, should not have. Like, for example, Tapu Fini. Don't think Tapu Fini should have gotten through. Araquanid should absolutely get through. I don't necessarily think Tapu Koko should have gotten through. I do think Toxapex should get through, so we're going to go ahead and thin the herd. I don't necessarily think Lunala should have gotten through the first time. I don't love Lurantis, but I'm going to send Lurantis on to the next round there. This one's a little bit tougher. We're not dealing with an Ultra Beast or a Tapu. 2 actual Pokemon. You love to see it. You have to give it to Lycanroc here. All the other Pokemon who I talked about, they came up with a concept, and the concept got them here. With Lycanroc, they took it all the way. 3 different forms based on the time of day that you evolve it, and all 3 of them look really good. And Rockruff looks really good. You gotta give Lycanroc some serious credit. Big sad to Zeraora because I actually think it's the cleaner designed Pokemon of the 2, but it's a mythical and I'll never use it. So I'm gonna give it to Silvally, the artificially created Pokemon, in an attempt to replicate Arceus because I think that's a cool backstory. So I'm gonna give it to you. It's Alolan Marowak, it's not. I told you, we're thinning the herd. Legendaries get out of here. Ultra Beasts, for the most part, get out of here. It's time for the Alolan forms to shine. And Alolan Marowak has a very good chance of being my favorite Alolan form. Maybe number 2, but it's really close up there. It's just a really good design. It fits with the Hawaiian theme extremely well. Look, memes aside, I'm sorry. Almost called you Guzzlord. I'm sorry, Young Goose, aka Gumshoes. I called you Young Goose first time. Sorry. Sorry, Gumshoes. I can't even remember your name. I couldn't remember either of their names. Vikavolt absolutely wins there, and it's not close. Now, this is mean. Looking at the other Pokemon that have gotten through, it makes me sad that I have to choose between Alolan Sandslash and Salazzle, because both of these could just as easily be in my top 4 Alolan Pokemon. Granted, it is slim pickings. You would not be wrong if you said it was slim pickings in the Alolan region. But these could both be in the top 4. I gotta give it to my buddy Sandslash. Just so many years of waiting for that Pokemon to become a little bit more viable, and they finally do it. A lot of childhood memories wrapped up in this Pokemon, and just wanting to use one, but never actually committing to do so because there were other better options. And finally, my boy Sandslash is the best option. Incineroar versus Alolan Golem. Second best starter. You are in Smash Bros. I gotta give you a little bit extra points, a little bit of Banjo-Kazooie points. Just because you did make it into Smash, so like congratulations. Hate to say it, it's not enough. Alolan Golem is too cool a design. Cooler typing combination, Dark Fire. Yeah, Houndour called. He does it better than you, sorry. And I'm not a cat person. I'm sorry. I'm a Golem person. What you just witnessed were my eyes nearly popping out of my skull. This is a tough one. It's a tough one, Mr. Grinch. And in the case of a tough one, you go with your gut. And my gut says Golisopod. Do I have any particular reasons why? Not really. These are both extremely solid Pokemon, and I do love that my boy Alolan Raichu is surfing over here at all times. I don't know, something about Golisopod just hits a little bit, something's just hitting a little bit different. I appreciate Gen 5 had amazing bug types, and Gen 7 has amazing bug types. Again, it bothers me that Salazzle has been yeeted, and yet one of these two Pokemon is going to make it on to the next round. I'll give it to Passimian because I miss sports. Sports are the whole reason this series exists, or the lack thereof sports. I'll give it to Passimian, and we'll call it in the name of this series. Passimian has made it to the next round. It's Alolan Ninetales. I'm sorry, Mudsdale. I don't love Mudsdale's design, if I'm being 100% honest. Mudbray nor Mudsdale, I don't really like either of them. They could have done, look, I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. Budweiser, the Clydesdales, it's like embodied in everything that St. Louis is. I feel like they could have done a little bit cooler with a large Clydesdale-esque horse, and Mudsdale just isn't it. I'm sorry. It's time for the legendaries to be yeeted. It's Toucannon. Toucannon it's so good. It's such a good design. You would think I like Fruit Loops a little bit more, and maybe we'll do a cereal bracket eventually, but you think I would like Fruit Loops more? I actually don't love Fruit Loops, to be honest with you. You think I would like them a lot more with how much I love toucans? But sorry, Necrozma, you're going up against a toucan. Give it to Marshadow. Give it to Marshadow. Tapu Lele, you beat the ugliest creature on planet Earth. You're certainly not going to beat this very sleek looking mythical. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are now in the Sweet 16. That's what they call it in basketball. College basketball, that is. This is where things theoretically start getting tough. Theoretically, stuff starts getting tough here. There's going to be some easy decisions probably. But more times than not, what I'm going to do here is trust the old gut, and we're going to move on to the next one with little to no discussion. I feel like at this point I've talked about most of the Pokemon as we've gone through reasons I like them versus reasons I don't. So now it can be very cut and dry. I've told you the reasons I love Decidueye, one of my top 3 starter Pokemon of all time, sorry. I've told you why I like Naganadel. It's like the only Ultra Beast I respect even a little bit. So gut reaction, which one do I like better? I like Decidueye better. That's my answer. The bug water type Araquanid, my bubbly boy, versus the Corsola eating Pokemon Toxapex, gut reaction, which one do I like better? It's got a better shiny. That's not a pure reason to like a Pokemon more, but gut reaction, I like Araquanid just a little bit more. Look, Lurantis, we're going, this one's not even gut, this one's just like, Lycanroc is fantastic. Lurantis, you were very lucky to make it this far. I'm sorry you're being sent to the Shadow Realm at this point, but Lycanroc is a little too cool. This one's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna, this one's tough. That one's really tough. I had so many theory videos about Silvally, and type null. What a weird Pokemon. It's got a colon in its name. The colon's not enough to save you here. You can quote me on that. I'm giving it to Alolan Marowak here, just based on gut reaction. Okay, there's no gut reaction involved in this one. Oh, this upsets me. This is a top 4 matchup, no doubt. I have zero doubt in my mind this is a top 4 matchup, and they're making me do it in the Sweet 16. Sometimes the seeding is unfortunate. I don't get to control that. I hate to say it. I'm sad to do it, but I'm gonna have to give it to my boy Sandslash over Vikavolt. Even considering Alolan Sandshrew is a little igloo. He's just a tiny little igloo. He's too cute. I used to make igloos out of snow. Fun fact, I used to take ice cube trays, pack snow into them, take all the ice cubes out, the little snow bricks, and I used to make my own igloos with them. They were like this big, but I would make my own igloos with them. Pretty adorable, right? What a cute kid. Okay. Golisopod, Alolan Golem. Yo, I think this is where the Alolan forms are gonna start getting yeeted. I do like Gen 1, but I would not consider myself a Gen 1er. And as great as the Alolan forms are, there is a limit to them. I gotta give it to the new, the fresh, the good. I gotta give it to Golisopod here. Okay, I'm not gonna give it to Passimian here because Passimian, you don't have a reason to be this far when there are many other Pokemon that deserve to be this far that have gotten yeeted off. I'm gonna give it to the majestic Alolan Ninetales. Are you the last legendary / mythical Pokemon standing? I think you are, Marshadow. It's a testament to your solid design. It's not good enough to take on this. He's so angry. My boy Toucanon is so mad at all times. I really like him. I know a lot of people don't like this Pokemon, but you can make your own tier list. And you can tell me why I'm wrong. That's the beauty of things. Okay. We have finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the Elite 8. Only 8 Pokemon in Gen 7 remain. We have finally thinned out the Gen 7 herd from most of the garbage. Hate to say it. There's a lot of garbage in Gen 7. But we have mostly cleared it out. And we are now with the real, these are the big boys. These are the heavy hitters, the final contestants. After this, we will be at our final 4. Let us start with Decidueye and Araquanid. Decidueye and Araquanid. Don't lie. When you got chased by an Araquanid in the wild area in Pokemon Sword and Shield, you pooped your pants a little bit. It's a menacing creature. It's huge. It's bigger than you think it would be. Yeah. It's a menacing creature. These are going to be pure gut. I'm sorry. And I did have pizza for dinner, so don't worry. My gut is in a good place. I feel like my gut is in a place to make accurate decisions. And gut is telling me it's Decidueye. It's too good. It's too good a starter. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Alolan Marowak, Lycanroc. Alolan Marowak, Lycanroc. And you gotta factor in all 3 forms here. I don't even know that Dawn form is my favorite. I think Nighttime form is actually my favorite, which I believe is Dusk. I don't know my times. Okay, gut reaction, pizza, harness the power, 1 bite, everybody knows the rules. Harnessing the power, it's Lycanroc. Just based on the power of the gut, I gotta go with Lycanroc there. Really cool. This totem battle was really fun. He's spinning, he's dancing, he's striking up a pose. It's really cool. If you were gonna get a tattoo of like a single Pokemon, that's a great option right here. Unfortunately, not quite up to the snuff of my boy with his 3 different forms. Yeah, it's really tough now. It's really tough. I'm really banking on Frankie. Frankie, where are we at? I've been watching a lot of stupid pizza reviews. I'm sorry. And I've been eating a lot of pizza, which is not great for my body. Frankie, where are we? Frankie, we got Alolan Sandslash and Golisopod. I think this is where most of the Alolan forms are going to get yeeted. Is Alolan Sandslash really cooler than Golisopod? Gut, gut, what do you think? Gut, gut. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, it disappeared. Okay, the program does not seem to think that it is, but my gut does seem to think that it is. I'm giving it to Alolan Sandslash here. It's barely. I mean, it's like 2%. Like, it's extremely close here. I'm gonna give it to Alolan Sandslash. I'll be honest, I think Alolan Ninetales got seeded extremely well. Toucannon has overcome more odds, and there's other Pokemon I would choose above Alolan Ninetales to be this far. It's a majestic creature, and I would absolutely own, if you told me, hey, here's a free Alolan Vulpix, you can own it in real life, IRL, as the gamers say. Did I make that joke? I did. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. It's adorable. I would also say absolutely yes to owning my own Toucannon as well. Permanently angry at everybody that walks in his path. I respect it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 1:30 a.m. Your boy's getting rather tired, but the show must go on. And the show is nearing its conclusion as we are in our top four, the final four, as they say. On the left side, we have Decidueye. Why? We have Decidueye versus Lycanroc, and on the right side, we have Alolan Sandslash versus Toucannon. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be the fastest Final Four of all time. Instantaneously, my brain and my gut went through all possible Final Two combinations, and it screamed out at me. It said, idiot, hello. You already know what your two favorite Pokemon are in this generation. You just looked at them and your heart spoke to you in a certain way. So I'm gonna show you what my heart says. Left side, Decidueye versus Lycanroc. I'm just telling you, my heart told me it's Decidueye. I listened. Hello? Grab a stethoscope, put it right on the heart. Hello, heart? It's beating. That's good. I'm alive. My heart told me it's Decidueye. On the right side, Alolan Sandslash versus Toucannon. What's that, heart? What's that? You know the answer? Oh, you absolutely do know the answer. And the answer between Trumbeak and Alolan Sandslash, and your name's not Trumbeak, it's Toucannon, but it's Toucannon. I'm sorry. Okay, I can at least feel better because now I know that an Alolan Pokemon is not going to be my favorite Gen 7 Pokemon, because then I would be forever branded as a Gen 1er. Instead, the final two, it will come down to, when determining my favorite Gen 7 Pokemon, we are down to Decidueye, the Grass Ghost type. Yo, look at the Battle of the Birds. We have Decidueye, the Grass Ghost type, and we have Toucannon. It's not, look. These probably are, I'm looking at all the other options here. These probably are my two favorite Gen 7 Pokemon. I think without a doubt, this is a very perfect top two. These are my two favorite Gen 7 Pokemon, which is funny because you can get both of them so early. But these are my two favorite Gen 7 Pokemon. And this is still one of the easiest top two of my entire life. And it's extremely easy because it's Decidueye, who is a top 3 favorite starter of all time for me, maybe top 2. He might be second to Feraligatr. He's extremely solid. He's Grass Ghost type. He's an owl, which I extremely love. I didn't even mention it this entire time. He can shoot, he's an archer. He can shoot arrows. I nicknamed mine Sterling in my first ever playthrough. The man shoots arrows like Robin Hood. And speaking of that, we didn't mention Z-moves at all because I try to forget that they exist. But Z-moves do exist in this generation, and there's probably not a cooler Z-move animation than freaking 1,000 times arrows, whatever it's called. Time-stopping arrow. I don't remember what it's called, but it looks really cool. Showstopper? I don't remember. He flies in amongst a bunch of arrows and you get pelted. Anyway, it's very late at night. I'm starting to go a little stir crazy, but that's okay. There's your answer, ladies and gentlemen. Who's the best Gen 7 Pokemon of all time in the Alola region? It's Decidueye. You can get him right at the very beginning of the game, which is so nice of them to do. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you can let me know in the comments down below. or you can do one of these videos yourself. You could do one of these videos yourself. You can send it to me. Discord, Twitter, links of course in the description below. That puts a bow on Gen 7, and ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if we did this in sub 1 hour, it's pretty close. We have one more generation to do. A single more generation. Gen 8, we're coming for you. Sword and Shield, the newest. Oh no. I just realized the Gen 8 video, this is March Madness. It's Pokemon March Madness. The Gen 8 video is not going to come out in March. It's going to come out on April 1st. Oops, that's going to be the worst April Fool's Day joke of all time. That's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider showing some support in the form of liking, commenting, subscribing. Of course, share with your grandmother as always. But with that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on Wednesday for Poke April Madness? Poke April Angriness? I'm gonna have to come up with a different name for it, or I can just put it out on Tuesday, but that seems silly. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.